Welcome back everyone to our gameplay of Interstellar Transport Company. So in our very first video, we took a look at a lot of the basics of the game. We set up some different routes. Let's actually go ahead and pause the game real quick because the AI is going to get a nice lead on us. So we set up our very beginning routes. We are focused on Earth. We've got routes going from Earth to the Moon. We've got routes going from Earth over here to Mars, as well as over to Ganymede, which is one of the newer colonized planets or moons in the system. But now you also notice, as we zoom in a little bit, that we've got items being delivered to Mercury. So Mercury now has a small population. Not a big fan of how these windows rotate like that. It would be nice if they would orient themselves a little bit better to where we are on the screen. But they've got 510,000 people. That's actually, isn't that more than Ganymede has? Oh, good gracious. Come on now. No, Ganymede is now over 1 million. Okay, so very good. Very good. So what we want to do today is, first and foremost, we want to get started providing materials over to Mercury. Let's begin by clicking on them and just seeing what they need. All right, so right now, let's see, so there's a little bit of water available on Mercury. Raw materials are there, and it looks like that's about it as far as long-term production that they're going to have. So right now, what they need more than anything, it appears, is machinery. And they have a surplus of consumer goods. Okay, now Mercury is close enough to us that we could conceivably do a round trip. However, I don't really see a reason to do that at this particular time. So let's go ahead and set up a new route. And we're going to do new route, add a stop. First stop is Earth. Then we're going to add a stop to Mercury. All right, so we've got a new route. Now we need some ships or rockets on there. So for right now, we're going to go one way. So we're going to use the Sparrow rocket. And we want to do machinery. So let's get rid of those and go machinery. Make sure we get our route taken care of. There we go, Earth, Mercury. Deliver the rocket to Earth. And we'll have to set up the reorder here momentarily. All right, I think that's what we want. So let's go ahead and get that ordered. And then I need to come back into our routes. Earth, Mercury, and make sure we have this very last one highlighted so that we'll be good to go. Okay, you can see it's got one ship on it right now. And if we bring up our ship, you can see we're on order right now. So we've got a little bit of time. Actually, it looks like about 4 more days before we actually get launch of this particular one. All right, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and get things started again now that we have some business up and running. So we're providing machinery. Looks like they also need colonists. So let's go ahead and do that as well. That will help them grow. And these colonists are very brave to hop aboard these rockets and just take off to the nearest planetary body. All right, so Earth to Mercury. All right, let's go ahead and order that one as well. These single-use rockets are very tempting to use a lot of them because they are so cheap. But to find out long-term whether or not they're actually making us any money, we need to consult our finances window. So we start off on the financial summary side of things, and we can break this down on pretty much any length of time that you want to. We're looking at 30 days. We could go 90 or 180 days. Or even a year for us at this point, because that's about how far we are into the game. Okay, so now let's take a look at, so we're looking at 1 year, and our total profit, not terribly good. You can see our expenditures, 255,000. Of course, that continues to grow. Our total income is only 197, 195,000. Again, all of this is going to continue since we are not paused in the game. Net worth, 744, 746 now. for the net worth of our company. And let's see where we might be losing a lot of money. Ship fuel is certainly one of our bigger expenditures. Ship purchases, of course. And so if we take a quick look, we've spent $54,000 on ships. And if you look, that is actually more than we are showing for a total negative profit. So that means that essentially, if you take out these purchases, which I would do in looking at the finances of this, of course we've lost some money because we need to take care of some expenditures, and this is primarily due to the fact that we have the two-way ships, the 909 model, up and running rather than just using single-use rockets for everything. If we use single-use rockets for everything, then this would be a very different story right now. And the reason I'm saying that is if we come back into purchasing a rocket, you can notice $33,000 for a 909 as opposed to $935. So these two 909s that we've purchased are the reason for our current loss that is showing. But I'm not going to worry too much about that. Instead, oh look, we've got another colonization ship that is going to Callisto. All right, so we know Callisto is going to have need for our services, I believe. Yes, there's Callisto right there. Let's see if we can go ahead and set up a new route. And add a stop for Earth, add a stop for Callisto. No, it is not going to let us do that just yet. All right, let's go ahead and get back into our solar system. We're going to do the top-down view since that is much easier for me to notice. So we've got actually not too much time. That colonization ship is moving rather quickly, quicker than our rockets are going, that's for sure. All right, now one thing we do need to take care of right now, and I'm going to go ahead and pause the game, is you notice we've got quite a bit of research that has been completed. And of course, that's 4 per day. And as we've been working with time on an accelerated level, we've got 2,300 research. So we started off with thruster efficiency. And let's see, corporate structure, building a larger office. In this case, it looks like it's only a medium-sized office. That will allow us to improve our reputation. But most importantly, it opens up some of these other. And one thing I'm very much interested in is the research station level 2. Also, I want to be able to subsidize industries, which could be good for us long term. And let's see what's going on over here. The space bus. It is a medium-sized long hauler, more useful in longer trips. Okay, that's very good. I like that one. Let's see, the 929, and it is shorter trips. Okay, so shorter trips, longer trips, and then we get some more rockets. We need those rockets. So let's go ahead and do the 919 research. And then, so we have 1,200. Let's go ahead and do the rocket as well. And the reason is that rocket has 10 cargo bay slots available and is only slightly slower than the Sparrow. So I like this. We also get the KV-3. Let's see, it's a pre-warp ferry, only useful for very short trips. Okay, so maybe to the moon or between some of these different moons for the other planets, perhaps. Okay, you can move large amounts of cargo between a planet and its moons. Okay, I like that. I like that. That could actually be useful to replace what we've been using, but we'll have to see how that goes. So we have just enough to complete that as well. Now we're back down to 72. But that opens up some new options for us. So if we come into purchase new ships, let's see what we've got. So 42,000 as opposed to 33. But if we come back to the 909, and wow, look at that 919. Look how much it cost. All right, so it looks like we need another gate available on Earth, actually. Again, you can keep track of all of... I really want to move this screen around, but it won't let me. That particular window. But at the bottom of the screen, you can see all of, let's see, so Callisto has been founded. All right, excellent. So while we're thinking about that, before we go any further, let's actually click on a new route. And this time we should be able to take care of this. So let's go new route from Earth. Add a stop over to Callisto. And we're going to go ahead and highlight the reordering is enabled. Let's click on Callisto and see what they need. And we've got a pretty good idea from previous attempts. We know machinery is needed, colonists, food and water. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And in order to do that, we need to purchase some new ships. And this will take us back to where we were. But this time we're going to pause so that, again, the AI don't get too far ahead of us. So we've got the 909, which has a total of 20 cargo bays. The 919 has 65 cargo bays. That is absolutely huge. But of course, it's also extremely expensive as well. All right, let's see what the Space Bus has to offer. It has 25 cargo bays. Still a good bit more expensive, though, than the 909. Okay, not too bad, though. All right, the Neptune Rocket. This is what I'm most interested in here. An upgrade from the Sparrow rocket. So it has 10 cargo bays, so that's double what the Sparrow had. And we know it's just slightly slower, so that's not bad. And okay, I'm liking this. So let's go ahead and start using these. I'm going to go ahead and get things going again, but we're going to slow it down quite a bit. And let's go ahead to use the Callisto route, deliver to Earth. And for right now, we're going to use passengers on this particular ship. Okay, there we go. All right, now we need to get rid of the passengers, and we're going to go for machinery. Order that one. And then we're going to go water. And take care of that one. All right, so if we come back out now, go back into our routes. Let's see, so we have 2 ships going to Mercury. We have 3 ships going to Mars, or 3 rockets in this case. Now the Earth and Luna supply, that is one that I want to make sure we take a quick look at. So these rockets, let's go ahead and manage. And let's go by route. Okay, Earth and Callisto. Okay, it looks like we've got quite a bit going on. One thing we're going to need to do as we continue to expand this, you've probably noticed at the very bottom of the screen a few different times it's popped up and says that there is no open port for us on Earth. Let's go ahead and lease another one because we have a lot of business going on coming and going from Earth. And wow, look at this. Look at all the satellites flying around. Of course, all the ships coming in and out. Not sure what these are supposed to be, but wow, there's a lot going on. All right, so let's back out. And that is a huge ship. Okay, look at all of the travel in between. So now if we come back into our finances window, we should be making some inroads. We're going to stick mainly to rockets here for a little while and try to actually save a little bit of money if we can. But we'll have to see how that goes because right now we're down below 100,000 and we'd like to get that going in a positive direction if at all possible. One of the things that really hurts us is that it is such a long trip out here to both Callisto and Ganymede that it takes a while for the income to pop up. You might have noticed it jumped up to about 104, so we got about 5,000 of income, and now some of our costs are coming out of that once again. Okay, let's come back into, let's actually take a look at the graphs which is something we haven't had a chance to do so far. And the very first one is what you see on the screen now, the overall profit. And you can see everybody's operating at a loss right now because we're all buying the ships and the spaceports and all these things that we need. So we're spending a lot of money, and we don't quite have the revenue to overcome that in the profitability just yet. But we're getting there. You can see that we have spent the least amount of money. And of course, we already know that the AI had a slight bonus as far as beginning money over us. Here in income, you can see we have earned quite a bit less than some of these others. Wow, they are crushing us there. But then again, in expenses, we also have a good bit less. So we've been a little bit more thrifty with our money so far. If we take a look at monthly profits, and right now we are hovering, and as is everybody else, pretty close to this zero mark for last 30 days of profit. Net worth, we're once again still behind these guys. And let's see, research points. We're actually doing pretty good here because, of course, we just spent all of our research points not that long ago. We're back up to 800, so not bad. Cash on hand, of course, we have just over 100,000, and that's actually not bad compared to these guys. So overall profit, we're looking pretty good. But again, I mean, you can just quickly tell as we scroll out, we don't have anywhere near as many of these ships and rockets out flowing as these other guys do. So I'm trying to be more smart about how many we send out, and that way we can hopefully get into the green and spend less time in the red. So now there is one more thing that I wanted to take a look at, and that is the new KV3. So it has 40 cargo bays. Let's see, let's make sure that we can do with these as we wish. Okay, looks like it. So there's no restrictions that I'm seeing so far on what kind of cargo it can carry. Okay, that's very good. But it's got 40 cargo bay slots, and this is really, really good. Now, we only want to use this for short travel, but it's got double over here. Plus, the price is certainly not double. So I think what I want to do is let's play around with this just a little bit, and let's look at the ships that we currently have. Let's change our route, and this is what we want. So I'm thinking that we can get rid of one of these ships. So what we've been doing is using one of these ships for food, the other for water, going back and forth to the moon. So I think what I'm going to do is actually sell off both of these. So we're going to sell the selected ship. Okay, there we go. Now Earth Luna once again. Let's go ahead and sell that one off. And that should mean when we come in to look at the number of ships that, yes, Earth Luna supply, we don't have any ships on that. So let's go ahead and pause the game real quick, and let's correct that. So we're going to go with the KV3 model, and all right, let's put half there, and then the other half will be water. So the good news for us is this dry goods, not only can it take food there, but it can also bring back rare resources, which is what we're bringing back from the moon. So that is very good. And let's see, where do we want to go? Earth Luna. And let's go ahead and take care of that. So we'll unpause and let this thing take off. Let's click on the Earth. And, oh, I'm sorry, not the Earth. We want the moon. All right, so if we take a look at the moon, right now we have two gates, or spaceports as I'm calling them. And let's see, they actually want to get rid of raw materials. Does anybody need raw materials? That would be nice. But right now, everything else is fairly small as far as their needs for food and water. Wow. So consumer goods, they've got a supply of raw materials. They've got a supply of All right, so we're just going to have to see how this works out. But I think long term, we're going to be in a better situation with this KV3 and only having one ship as opposed to two. And of course, you can see we've got a little bit higher amount of money after selling off the two ships as opposed to purchasing one. So hopefully this will help turn around our profitability. All right, so let's just glance around now as we reach the end of the video and just see what else is out here. So we've got Mars, we've got Ganymede, I would imagine Callisto. So I imagine we're going to get to Europa and Io pretty quickly here, I would imagine. And then that's going to open up some opportunities maybe to go between some of these. And then I'm not sure if we can do anything with Jupiter. It doesn't look like it's got any habitability whatsoever. So we may not be able to do anything there, but we might be able to get some travel going in between these different moons. And then, of course, we haven't gotten out to Saturn either. So a lot going on. Let's see, we actually have something out here. So Titania, okay. I did not realize. So does that mean that there's anything going on? There's water there, and that appears to be it. Habitability at 15%. Okay, not bad. I actually thought by looking at that, since it had a different color other than the gray, that it might have already been colonized, but it does not appear that that has been the case. So right now, I am very happy with where we are. Things are looking pretty good. You notice that for right now, we're showing a slight profit. So if we came back over to the charts, that would probably show us going in the right direction. And of course, that includes quite a bit of ship purchases and now some selling of the ships. So things are going very well so far. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our gameplay of Interstellar Transport Company.